Hello, this is Jamie Magrich. Welcome to Jamie's Craft Table. Today I'd like to show you how I made this card. It's fun. Jennifer McGuire showed how to make them. They're awesome. So let's get started. I'm bringing my box. I'm using the Boho Indigo product medley. This is the Boho Indigo stamp set and dies. I'm using all three of these and this sentiment, this stamp here. Okay. For paper, I have a scrap of Whisper White. I have two pieces that are 1 1/2 inches by 2 1/4 inches, scored in half, which is 3/4 of an inch. And those are going to be hinges. They can be any size you want them to be, just so long as they're smaller than the piece that you're putting them under. Okay. I have two pieces of the designer series paper, actually 4 of them, 2 different patterns, which are 2 inches by 5 3/8 inches. I have 2 of these cut out from the stitched rectangles, and it is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th from the largest. Okay. I have this cut out from the Ornate layers dies, just one, and that is cut out. This is the midnight, what's it called? Misty Moonlight. This is the new 2020-2022 in color. That's the same as that. I have a 2 3/8 by 3 3/4 inch rectangle, and then there's my second one of those. 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece of Whisper White, 4 1/8 by 5 3/8 inch piece of the Misty Moonlight, and I die cut this out of the center of it because you're not going to see it. Save a little bit of paper because I don't have a lot of that. And then my card base is 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, and I scored it at 2 1/8 from each edge. Just make sure that lines up well and burnish those. Okay. I'm going to be using 1 ink pad, Night of Navy. And then I have a couple die cuts out of the paper. And I've previously stamped and die cut out the vase, so let's get started. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to open this up. I'm going to bring in this piece here, the 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece. Open up my ink. I'm going to bring in the sentiment. I'm going to stamp that in the center of this. A bunch of birthday love to you. Okay. Then I'm going to bring in this little, I don't know if you can see it, that piece. I'm going to stamp it once below it and once above it. Oops, oh rats. See if I can line it up again. Take your time so you get a better impression, but Let's turn it over. Let's just do it again. Slow down. Take your time. When you rush, you can't get a good stamped impression. There we go. One more time. Especially with these little ones, because you have a tendency to rock them. Not get the whole thing. Much better. Now the bottom one. Much better. Okay. Now, the 4 1/8 by 5 3/8 inch piece of the Misty Moonlight. It's going to get mounted here. I'm going to just use my Tombow Mono. There's going to be just a little bit of a border. Center that up. This piece will get centered on top of it. So that's the inside. Now the inside flaps here and here, we're going to put that designer series paper. So let's go ahead and do that now. And they're 2 inches by 5 3/8 inch. You can use any one of the papers. They're all going to be perfect for this. I just love this one. I don't know why. Well, probably because I'm partial to leaves. You're going to be amazed. This really is not a hard card. It just looks difficult. Okay. Now we're going to close this up. And these hinges, which are 1 1/2 by 2 1/4, and they're scored in half. Basically, they're just a piece that is smaller to fit behind the other pieces. So I just made them the same. They don't have to be the same. We're going to fold them, and we're going to have them so that the fold is towards the center of the card. And we're going to mount them here on the front of the card. And like Jennifer McGuire said, so there are going to be like handles on a refrigerator. So I'm going to put glue here. Close this down. You don't want to go over the center, but you want it to be right up to the edge, or close to the edge. Okay, let's do the same for the other one. Again, my card base was 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, and I scored it at 2 1/8 on each end to make this gatefold. Okay, now I'm going to take those other 2 designer series papers . I'm going to put one here. I'm going to put one here. Okay. Alright. So that's the basic layout of the card. I'm going to put that aside for a minute. Now let's work on our other pieces. One of these, we're going to bring in a scrap paper. And we're going to bring in this stamp here. I don't know if you can see it. We're going to stamp that. And then bring in the die that goes with it, or hand cut it out. And I've already done that. Okay. So we'll take this. We're going to bring in these two leaves. This one will go here. This one will go here. I'm going to pick them up and they're just going to get glued down. So I'm just going to put some wet glue on the back. We're going to go right up here in the top part of this card. Okay. We're going to bring in a dimensional. We're going to put dimensionals on the back of this vase we stamped and die cut out. This vase is going to go right over the stems of that. Okay, and then this piece is going to get adhered with more dimensionals on this piece here that I've die cut out with that ornate dies. Okay, center that up on the center of that. Stick it down. Okay, now this one, first I'm going to bring in this stamp here. Get up. And I'm going to stamp it down over here on the bottom left side. It's about 1/4 of an inch from the bottom and 1/4 of an inch from the left side. And I'm going to bring in a Post-it note. I'm going to stamp it on this side here next to the sticky part. I'm going to cut that out. I'm going to just reuse the one I did all previously. And then I'm going to stick that on there. And I'm going to bring in this stamp. And I'm going to stamp that. I'm going to go up just a tiny little bit because it's going to appear that it's behind it, so the base would be a little bit higher. Okay, and I don't mind the halo, kind of adds to the effect that it's behind it. Okay, then we're going to mount that to this other Misty Moonlight piece, which is 2 3/8 by 3 3/4. I'm done with the ink. Let's close it up. This one just gets glued flat. Okay, then I'm bringing in one of the gold flowers from the Designer Series paper pack. Glue that up here. Okay, now I'm going to bring in my card base. First thing I'm going to do is bring the front piece. I'm going to fold these down. I want to center this on the front here. So I just need to put glue on this side. You'd want to ignore this one altogether. So I'm going to tuck it inside so I don't forget. I just want to put glue here. And I'm going to hold this down, center this on the front. Okay, rub it down. That's the one flap. Open it up if you need to press it down. Let's bring this one back over. Now I'm going to put glue on the back of this one, or on the back of it. Now I'm going to center this in the center of this panel. Just want to make sure when this is closed that it doesn't show. And it does a little bit, so let's move it over a little more. Whoops. Stay straight. Still shows a little bit more. That's why I use the wet glue. There we go. Now push it down good. Burnish it down. Make sure we don't have any glue back here that we'll have to worry about getting onto our card since I moved it so much. Alright, and that is our card. It's as simple as that. There's one side, there's the other side, and there's the center. Isn't that cool? Thank you, Jennifer McGuire, for a great tutorial. It was easy to follow. It was fun to make. She used shapes for her. She used ornaments and that. I just thought this would be simple and easy to share. Well, thanks for joining me at Jamie's Craft Table. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I hope you can find a little bit of time to play with some stamps, ink, and paper. I'll leave one open. There you go. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.